What's the difference between lust and love? We get them confused. What are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs? Do you know what really gets you hot under the collar, baby? Are you always dating the person that frankly sucks in bed? Are you and your mate not mating anymore? Do you even know what turns you on? I have that answer. With a date of birth, I can tell you anything. We call it Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. Find out your birthday secrets today, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com.
Soul Garden.
Namaste and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Orbits Edition. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Rayman Witecki, your astrologer and soul biographer, here to help you put the pieces of your karmic story together. And I have a really happy announcement this week, introducing Zen Shoemaker. She's got her own show called Dear Zen that airs on SG YouTube on Thursdays and on the Mothership. You can write her for practical advice at dearzen@soulgarden.tv. She's funny, she's wise, and she's a psychic coach. You can also be on her show if you want on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern, but check her out at the Mothership and check her out at soulmart.me. We love Zen. She's fabulous. Now, moving into the sun, we're wrapping up the sun in Libra. We're going to go from step 27 to step 29 this week, and then we dive fast into Scorpio with our first breakdown by Sunday. It's going to affect emotional relationships and boundaries, and we have a quantum shift coming on November 3rd. More on that later. The moon begins this week in stable Taurus, then shifts into jumpy Gemini, and then it has a little turbulence as it moves into Cancer because we hop over Black Lilith and Jupiter, but we do end the week in lovely Leo. The moon signs most affected are Taurus moons, Gemini moons, Cancer moons, and Leo moons, and the moons that might go into the dark side are Scorpios, Sag moons, Capricorns, and Aquarius moons. Now, looking at our orbits, man. The moon was in the root chakra, remember, in Aries for that big full moon, and this week it moves through the solar plexus all the way up to the heart. So a lot of digestion issues for a lot of people on Earth. The other planet I want to point out is the Earth itself, which is in the root chakra. Now the Earth is what we are manifesting now. So we've been manifesting a new ego as the sun's been in Libra. But as the sun moves into Scorpio, we'll be manifesting manifestation. That's because the Earth will move to its home chakra, the orange chakra, and that means manifestation will be at a pure point. So the point is we actually manifest more when the sun's in Scorpio than we do when the sun is in Taurus for that reason. Now, looking at the planets, the aspect that most affects us, I think, is this opposition. This is literally ego versus God, and it's an intense transit this week. This might be kind of looked at as the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. Literally, we are tug and pull between the needs of our ego, which is where we're most disconnected, and Neptune, which is where we can be most disconnected or connected. Neptune's just like a modem that logs into anything. So in your horoscopes, I'll be talking about how that opposition affects you. Plus, this square between Pluto and Uranus has reached a massive head. Both planets are at 9 degrees. 9 is an aggressive degree. After all, it's trying to get to 10, right? And this is a fear coming up in your life, probably a long-running fear, and I'll be talking about this fear as well upstairs in your horoscope. And getting a closer look at some planets. Like I said, the moon this week, when it zips through jumpy Gemini, then moves into Cancer and will, boom, bounce off of Black Lilith and Jupiter. That's going to be an emotional kind of moment, if you say, and we'll talk about that on your horoscope as well. So let's get right to it. Let's take the ascension elevator up. Let's go to the 33rd floor at 33,000 feet and get a bird's eye view of you.
Folks, this is your captain speaking. We realize you have a choice in the astrologers you choose to fly with, and we'd just like to thank you for flying with Christopher Witecki.
Hello, my heroes, and welcome to 33,000 feet for a bird's eye view of you. This is also for Aries risings, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, and welcome to Soul Garden. Well, we've got a lot going on. I always say that. I think that's kind of cliche now. I've made my own cliches. But as we fly through the clouds for Aries, you are wrapping up a transit on relationships and marriages and partnerships. And this is about shifting into the marriage and partnerships that you really want. And hopefully you have realized in the last 30 days or so what exactly it is you need in alliances. And hopefully you've stepped into the appropriate marriage for yourself. And with that full moon we just experienced and lunar eclipse, you might have taken kind of a hit to the ego in order to get out of your own way. All right. So moving forward this week, you're going to put the finishing touches on your agendas for long-term strategic alliances, and you're going to move forward. And then we're going to move into Scorpio, where I must say it's going to get very intense. In fact, probably the best way to look at this is starting with the sun in Scorpio, Aries and Aries risings will be going into a cocoon and coming out a butterfly or a moth. Well, I don't know. You got to put out two options, so you try Aries. You know what I'm saying? So we've got a lot going on. As we move in this week, we're wrapping up the sun in Libra, which means you're trying to create harmony in your life. You're trying to make peace, and this comes from strategic alliances with other people, business, romantic, etc. You can't do it alone. Although Aries do want to, you really can't. So you're moving into that potential for harmony. Now the sun will move from step 27 to step 29, so you're going to feel action and aggression and just go out for it. It's time to decide and act. This is a test of your own personal truths. On Wednesday we move into Scorpio, and by the end of the week we're at step 4. Now, in the state of Scorpio itself, jumping up ahead, that's where the sun will end up at the end of the week. Saturn itself shows quantum breakdowns, okay, in personal emotional boundaries right now. So will you get started right away on Monday with breakdowns with personal emotional boundaries? And that might just be you wanting to jump for it. At the same time on Monday, Mercury retrogrades, which means thoughts now go inside out. This means that the other parts of your thoughts kind of come out, and this is where god-awful truths start to come out, to be honest with you. So if there's something that people have been biting their tongue on for a long time, and they're in Aries or Aries risings, they'll probably say it. Be careful. Try to think before you speak. That retrograde is going to let stuff out. Now, in the state of Cancer, emotions for you move to passion, and you have to trust your passion. Unfortunately, this is a time where the passion is being added at the same time that you're thinking about transforming yourself. You can see the universe setting you up for a transformation. Black Lilith at step 14 says you have to walk forward as if the past is dead. You don't want to carry any of the emotional baggage from the past. Now, zipping into the week and taking a look, looking at the long-running planets, you're going to be in total passion when it comes to emotion. Mercury does retrograde at step 18, so you'll probably take some sort of action, and then as Mercury retrogrades, you're going to reconsider that action. Mercury will be retrograded till 11/11, incidentally. Saturn says it's brand new emotional boundaries for you all week long. You've never done this before or felt this before. Uranus is still retrograde at 9 degrees, which means you're reconsidering ego. You still must be self-compassionate to yourself with spirit, and you are moving ahead with career. That's Aries and Aries risings. That's the setup. So as we start off on Monday, the moon is in Taurus. Sunday, the moon is in Taurus. And so it's a manifestation day and it's a day of action. Technically, you're moving forward with your plans and relationships and partnerships on Sunday. At least in your heart, you're moving forward. And for some reason, it's something that will also engage changing your finances and moving forward with abundance. On Monday, you're still feeling abundance, but you're holding space that relationship decisions were correct and that you didn't make any mistakes. You want to love and trust. Now on Monday, Mercury does go retrograde. This means that the inside voice becomes the outside voice and the outside voice becomes the inside voice. This is where we learn by seeing things from the inside out. It's like wearing your shirt inside out for a week. By understanding the seams of the shirt, you understand why it doesn't fit, okay? So for you, that could be not more true. You're working on trust and boundary issues, which means that you're literally working on the seams of your life. Where you draw a line in life is where you change, the beginning and the end, how you change the shape, how you change everything. So these are emotional boundaries, FYI. And on Monday, you're holding space and trusting that you're right when it comes to relationships, but when it comes to trust at large, not so certain, all right? Now on Tuesday, we've got the little umbrella because emotions will probably pour for most people on Earth. The moon moves into Gemini late Monday and then into Tuesday. For you, this begins mind games or triggers maybe conversation with people. Be very careful to maintain your trajectory of where you're intending to go on Monday through Tuesday. So Tuesday, you just want to carry it through. For those watched over in the agency, I will be texting you and reminding you to just carry on with orders as you have before. On Wednesday, we go down the rabbit hole and the sun moves into Scorpio. It's 0 degrees. 0 means 0. That's the no man's land between two states of awareness. We will be feeling kind of awkward, and the moon in Gemini will make us kind of spaced out. I would say Wednesday would be kind of like a Pink Floyd album. On Thursday, it clicks into 1 degree, and you will feel love come back online. So if it was kind of a hard Monday through Wednesday with that transition, Thursday will feel good. The pink heart means that we're feeling our love. The moon moves into Cancer, so it's nesting and resting. You'll want to ground yourself and reconnect to your emotional roots. And you might also go through a bit of a cleansing on Thursday as well. Now, with the sun at 1 degree, what you're trying to feel out here is, are you protected? And that's the real first question on Thursday. Are you protected? Do you feel protected? Do you protect your own love for yourself? Do you protect your own heart? Do you protect your own heart's interest? And most importantly, are you protecting your heart's interest in relationships? I know we've been focusing on relationships. I know we've been focusing on the balance of you and someone else. But are you protecting yourself in your relationships? Are you protecting your own heart? Are you protecting your bank accounts? Are you protecting your PIN number? And you know, the truth of the matter is when it comes to protection, you have to do it anyways. Even though you don't feel like it ever would be something that is necessary, I have found that in manifestation, if you don't think and put protection around it, that you're basically asking someone to come in. It's like the law, especially in today's society. So Thursday is really sensing whether or not you're protected. Some truths may come because on Friday, the moon the moon becomes the whole. Okay, the moon rules the day. That's what I'm trying to say. Emotions then rule you. That's what I'm trying to say. And based on your own vulnerability and based on how well you're protected, it might be on Friday that you feel how protected you are or not. At the same time, the moon will cross over Black Lilith and Jupiter on Thursday and Friday. And so this is kind of you emotionally going through the potential of what may come. At the same time, the moon crossing over that on Thursday and Friday also crosses the Black Lilith Grand Trine. And so your cage is a bit rattled between Thursday and Friday, between emotional groundedness and feeling secure, where your trust and boundaries are, and then faith will work out. And so that's going to be kind of tough too. So clouds definitely and chance of showers on Friday. On Saturday, the clouds do come out. This is mostly due, or separate or apart, I don't know how you put it. This is mostly due to the fact that the moon moves into Leo and puts emotional focus on your inner child. At the same time on Saturday, Jupiter will rule the day, and so there's an optimistic, hopeful, kind of rainbow glow. Unlimited possibilities is really kind of the mantra on Saturday, and so you're going to be feeling a lot better. But I have to say, hold that thought, because taking a sneak peek at next week, Sunday, the very next day, first major breakdown of the season. So I bring it up just because, looking back at this last week, I went into the Witecki Theater by accident. Looking back at this last week that we're actually reporting on here, it's up, down, all week long. You do start to feel better on like I said, on Saturday, but then on Sunday there's going to be something that also breaks down. So I guess what I'm trying to give as advice here, got my clouds back, is that on that hopeful, wonderful day on Saturday, just repair yourself and still expect the unexpected. Okay? Because, you can start marching like an Aries or an Aries rising, like everything's fine, and then suddenly you're like the Fool card walking off the cliff, right? And that's when I worry about my air eyes. So let's say, okay, we got a parachute down. That's what it is. I've got a serious joy toy for you at the bottom of this little cliff, but put on your parachute and we're going to hop down. We've got some really cool specials for you from soulmart.me, and at the bottom, a wrap-up of the serious joy toys after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Please put on your parachute and prepare for jump.
It's Mercury Retrograde. That means it's time for our soulmart.me Mercury Retrograde sale. Like a 1-hour reading with Christopher Witecki, normally $159, retrogrades back to $95.10. Or try a 15-minute psychic look reading with Zen Shoemaker. She retrogrades down to $45 for a 15-minute reading. Or try the Act 3 Orbits Report. And the Jupiter Gets Emotional retrogrades the same to 1111. At soulmart.me, mind, body, and soul improvement. Did you parachute down all right? Thank you for joining me. And now it's time for your Serious Joy Toy. The Serious Joy Toy is something to play in your head, literally something for your inner child to play with, to kind of keep you on the right track as you move down your week. Now, this will be an intense week, so I'm giving you something fun. We have been working on, remember, building your team and delegating everything you can, and I hope you were kind of paying attention to that in the sense of, Aries have other things to do. than necessarily be helping everyone at every step. To get to the front of the line, to be there at the first step, that's where Aries and Aries risings want to be, right? So you have to delegate. So this week's Serious Joy toy is Highway to the Danger Zone. Now, this is actually from Top Gun, and it's probably because I've been watching a lot of Archer lately, and that cartoon, he's kind of obsessed with that song. But really, it's kind of the perfect thing I was thinking of for the Aries and Aries risings. This week, you've got to get an A+ on your relationships. It's really no turning back. So you just got to put on the sunglasses, put on the music, and just fly your plane out there in the danger zone. You know what I mean? Do your best you can. Be there for yourself, but you got to pack a parachute. Because once the sun hits Scorpio, I want you to hit the chute and parachute down. I don't care how good you're performing. Recognize that we're going to move into some hostile turbulence after you're danger zoning out of through the relationships, and we don't know what's on that other side. So highway to the danger zone, and be prepared to parachute at the end. All right, my Rams, good luck. I love you so much. I'll see you in 7 days. Mercury retrograde. Live, love, be. The gift, right? So it's like, even if it's something ugly, it's like, oh, thank you, thanks. You did all the pictures for them. It's on their Facebook in 30 seconds. People are already posting and responding to you on your hip. Oh, shit!